I'm in the world's most expensive car. It's a Ferrari kind of weekend this weekend, guys, and I've got the California T in my parking spot here, in red, of course. It's a 3.9 litre turbocharged V8. Now that's the same as the 488 GTB, but this one has 100 less horsepower. But I have to say, it still kind of catches up, or it feels not just as fast, but it still feels really fast. We were driving next to a 488 last night, and it could kind of catch up with the 488, or maybe he was just a really horrible driver, but it just feels like you're still driving a very fast car. This is one thing I find odd. When you open the car, it feels like you're in a hospital. Listen. Doesn't that remind you of something? I think it could have a nicer like opening tone. This is something different you don't get in most Ferraris. Boot space. So you can do the shopping and come home quite comfortably. The other thing is it's a 4-seater. Now there are other 4-seater Ferraris, of course. Switch this around and then you can press the start button. Oh, good song. As you can see, seats in the back, but look how it's perfect for my 2 dogs. I mean, it is possible. You could sit in here, but not a very long distance.
That's good.
It's not the comfiest seat, but you know what? It has 4 seats, so if you need it, then... I'm now going to the world's only 7-star hotel, the Burj Al Arab. They've got a massive car display there today. We're going to take you through some of the world's most exclusive and expensive cars. And I thought, what better car to take to the Burj Al Arab than a Ferrari? And the California T, it's just classy, you know? You can get away with it anywhere here. This car sounds beautiful. I'm not sure how much of it you can hear, but let me just speed up very briefly. When you change gears, you get this kick every time. This is about 3.6 seconds, 0 to 100. It's still super fast, this car. A car that you can use everywhere. Yeah, so now we're pulling up to this 7-star hotel, and this is the only hotel where they have the strictest entrance policy. You've got to be on the list to be able to get through these gates up here. Where they got me in between all these McLarens. They're saying that this is probably one of, if not the best collection of cars in the world. This is the first car that you walk in and see, the LaFerrari. I have never seen one this close before. This is kind of exciting. I can't believe I admit that to you, but I mean, look, we've got cars in Dubai, and then you got cars, you know, and this one, another 918. Yesterday we were in, I think it was a grey one, wasn't it? At the supercar event. Now, which one would you have? You know, if you got the pick of the two, which one would you choose? What stands out more, do you reckon? I know which one I'd have, but I can't tell you. Oh wow. This is a Pagani Zonda. I was watching the manufacturers. There's this video about how they actually really concentrate on the design, and they've done these so that they look like leaves. Damien, he's one of the judges.
Indeed I am.
Good, we got confirmation. Right, we can start.
Let's go.
So we're here with the Ferrari line. Well, one of the Ferrari line. let's start with this car. We'll work our way up because I hear the most expensive car is at the end of this line.
That's it.
Talk to me about this car. What makes it special?
Okay, well, this is a 250 GT California Series 1.
Okay.
So 1959 model. Quite rare because, I mean, these are rare anyway. These are worth $2 to $3 million any day of the week. It's missing these panels here, which they normally have. They've normally got grills and slats here. So this is quite rare in terms of this one. So it's a Series 1. Adds just a little more value to it. But the California, obviously built for the US market, has always been worth something. This is the car, obviously, they ran in Ferris Bueller, which helps to its cult status going back then. So great to have that here. Beautiful looking car.
What makes a classic worth that much money? Okay, we've got classics that are worth a lot more money than 2 or 3 million, but why this car? I mean, there were probably Ferraris built a few years after this. They would also be classics, but why is this worth more?
Supply and demand, primarily.
Okay.
The American distributor, which is was very strong back then, and it was going off the back of the Hollywood movie stars of the 1950s. So they convinced Ferrari to make a different kind of Ferrari, a convertible primarily. And so these cars were made for the American market.
How many cars were made? Do you know?
These we're probably talking about 2,000.
Okay. So how many cars would there be? Just a handful around the world?
These
Particular ones?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a lot of replicas.
Yeah.
Awful lot of replicas,
Right.
but to find the real thing, incredibly rare.
Okay. Okay, so tell us about this car then. This one, first of all, the price tag, what's hanging off it?
Okay, this one, you ready?
I don't know.
$55 million.
$55 million. I think like Diamante's just rubbed off on my fingers or something.
It is for sale, so if you know anyone who's up for that, it is the world's most expensive car.
Really?
Period.
This is it?
The world's most expensive car, $55 million.
Standing behind me, the world's most expensive car. Okay, well, why?
The 250 GTO has always been a desirable car. It's always been in the millions. The previous most expensive car was also a 250 GTO. That was Sterling Moss's car.
Okay.
That was sold at Sotheby's auction last year for $38.9, I think, million. So the 250 GTO has pedigree anyway. But what makes this one even more special is it's an American car. It's done in the American colour of blue with the white stripe, because all the countries had their own racing colours back then.
Right. And
this was built for Phil Hill, and this is the first racing 250 GTO in the world.
Really?
So it actually qualified at Le Mans in 1962.
Okay.
So it has a lot of pedigree, and it's been run by what they call NART, which is the North American Racing Team, a division of Ferrari.
Yeah.
Very well known division of Ferrari, if you want to put it that way.
So this is the first one of its kind. How many then were built?
I think there's about another 25 to 30.
Wow, only?
Yeah.
And are they still around today?
Yeah. In fact, at Goodwood last year or the year before, they had a whole grid of them. In fact, this car was probably there, I'm guessing, but they had a full grid of them racing at Goodwood last year, and that was the most expensive race grid in the history.
That would have been what?
Cars.
More than $500 million worth of cars?
We're talking 400 million, 500.
Okay, so what makes this one the most expensive out of all the other ones? Is it just that it was the first one built of its kind?
The first one, and it's got racing pedigree.
Okay.
So that adds a lot to it, and it's absolutely mint condition. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
That's the great thing. Ferrari have, in their Classica division back in Maranello, they have the part number and the paint colour number, and they have all the blueprints of every single Ferrari that's ever been made.
Oh wow, okay. So they can go back to that exact original colour.
If this gets damaged, you can go back to Maranello and sit in their office for a couple of days and go through with the part number, the engine component numbers, and rebuild it exactly the same.
That's incredible. Wow, thanks Damien.
No worries.
This is incredible. So right now I'm in the world's most expensive car. $55 million right here. I've just sat for like 10 minutes. I feel like I owe the owner like $1 million of his time. Wow. I'm here with John, who's the owner of this Ferrari here. You own all of these, right?
All of
Do you?
them, they're all for sale.
Will it hurt you a little bit when it goes to someone else?
No, it'll make me smile.
Yeah, okay, so
And they'll write a check for $55 million for that one.
make me smile too.
$16 million for that one, $7 million for the other one, and $8 million for the red one. So yeah, it'd be quite a good day.
That'd be nice though, wouldn't it? So where did you pick these up from?
Different owners, you know, and Talocrest is actually the biggest classic Ferrari dealer in the world.
Right.
We've sold over 1,700 Ferraris, over $1 billion.
Wow. Who do you think's going to buy this car?
Somebody with a big wallet, but it'll sell. I've already had one offer, but the chap wants to trade like 20 cars plus money.
Okay.
So I'm going through the cars that he's offered to see where the value stacks up.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah. What about the LaFerrari? Do you like the...
Yeah, I like them. I have my own LaFerrari in England. So,
You do?
Yeah. Well,
If you have any excess money, you can just throw it my way.
if I was 25 years younger, I might.
Well, it was worth a try, right? Well, it's been a pleasure to meet you,
too.
and good luck with the sales.
And where are you from?
Australia.
I gathered that.
Brisbane.
Brisbane.
Yeah. We're here at the Burj Al Arab, and of course, amongst all the world's most expensive cars, you get the best watches, right? So this one actually stood out because you'll see what's off about it. Where's the 12 on the dial? It's over to the right. And you're saying this is all on purpose. This is a race watch.
Yes, exactly. So that watch has actually a natural link with vintage cars.
Yeah.
It's called the American 1921. It was actually developed, the original of this piece was developed for the American market in the 1920s, for the time when actually cars came up. And the way it is designed here is not a mistake. So watchmaking is very precise. So not that it tipped on the side.
Yeah.
It was precisely done in a way to allow people who had at that time then their hands on the wheel to allow them to read the precise time without taking the hand off the wheel.
So this watch is made for driving. You've got your hands on the wheel, 12 o'clock is dead north. It works.
As well, at 1 o'clock, normally
yeah.
the crown you would find it at 3 o'clock, to allow the people that even when they drive to wind the watch without taking the hand
And
off.
this is a